Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do a detailed comparison of the Redmi Note 7 Pro with the Honor 8X. So these two devices are below the 15k price segment in India, with the Redmi Note 7 Pro selling for 13,999 while the Honor 8X retails for 14,999. So in this video we'll analyze all the aspects and see which is better device to buy and what all areas these two devices excel. So let's get started. First step, let's have a look at the design and build quality. So you can see that the front panel design, the notch is smaller on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. We have the dot notch on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while the notch is slightly bigger on the Honor 8X, even though it's not that big, but it's still bigger than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Now if you look at the bottom section, you can see that chin is lesser on the Honor 8X when compared to the Redmi Note 7 Pro, and also the screen to body ratio is better on the Honor 8X. That's something which is really good Honor has done with the 8X. Now in terms of the back panel, you can see that both these devices are made of glass finishing. You can see that both are good looking smartphones in terms of the glass finishing, but the important aspect is that the Honor 8X is made of glass and aluminum, that's metal chassis, while we have the plastic chassis on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So in terms of the durability wise, we would say the Honor 8X is better because it has a metal construction. Although both the devices are made of glass, we have Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, both for the back as well as front panel, while the Honor 8X does not have that. Now that's the design and build quality. So design wise, you could say that both are quite similar, but then build quality is slightly superior on the Honor 8X because of the metal chassis. Now moving on to the display. So both the phones have Full HD plus resolution display, LTPS LCD panels, and looks quite good. The colors are also quite similar. You can see that we have set both the devices to 50% brightness, and there isn't much to differentiate between these two devices. You can see that the Honor 8X is a tad more brighter than the Note 7 Pro, but then no major difference. And you also get the Gorilla Glass 5 support on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while nothing much is mentioned about Honor 8X. So display, we would say the both are almost similar, not much of a difference, but then having Gorilla Glass 5 definitely gives an advantage to the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Now moving on to the software. So we have the latest version of Android 9.0 on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while we have Android 8.1 Oreo on the Honor 8X. Now both these devices have custom UIs, while we have the MIUI and EMUI. So both are feature rich, but we would say here we would pick the Redmi Note 7 Pro because of two reasons. The MIUI is a bit more optimized and fluid than the Honor 8X because it runs on the latest version of Android, and you also get the Android 9.0 along with the Android 9.0 features are available on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. But both the devices offer custom UIs, and a lot of features for customizations are included. Now talking about the performance. So here we have the Snapdragon 675 chipset with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, while we have the Kirin 710 octa-core chipset on the Honor 8X. Looking at the day-to-day performance, we feel both are equally good, even though the Redmi Note 7 Pro has definitely an edge with MIUI being a bit more responsive than EMUI. So while performance is quite similar on both the phones, we would say the raw benchmark scores and the GPU performance is better on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, with the Snapdragon 675 being more powerful than the Kirin 710. So in terms of the performance aspect, we would say the Redmi Note 7 Pro definitely has an edge. But having said that, the day-to-day performance isn't drastically different. Now talking about the other aspects, both the devices have dual SIM card, 4G LTE and VoLTE support. We have a dedicated SD card slot on the Honor 8X, but we have a hybrid slot on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Now the face unlock and fingerprint scanner performance is quite similar on both the phones. Now moving on to the important aspect, the cameras. So here we have the world's first 48 megapixel sensor, the Sony IMX586 sensor on the Redmi Note 7 Pro with f-stop 1.79 aperture with a secondary 5 megapixel camera and LED flash, and we have a 20 megapixel f1.8 aperture camera along with a secondary 2 megapixel camera on the Honor 8X. The front camera is a 13 megapixel shooter on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while it's a 16 megapixel f2.0 camera on the Honor 8X. Now looking at the camera samples, here we can see that the Redmi Note 7 Pro is definitely an improvement with the 48 megapixel producing stunning results, great details and great sharpness levels. Along with that, the color reproduction was better on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The 48 megapixel camera definitely does a really good job even in low light conditions, and we could see both these devices have night mode, but then the Honor 8X night mode was not as good as the Redmi Note 7 Pro, which produces really great results. We have done a detailed camera review of the Redmi Note 7 Pro as well. So Redmi Note 7 Pro definitely excels in terms of the camera department, and both the daylight shots and the rear camera performance in the night shots were also better than the Honor 8X. Now when it comes to selfie camera, again we feel the Redmi Note 7 Pro definitely has an advantage in terms of selfie performance. The Honor 8X is pretty good with selfies, but then we would definitely go with the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So overall, in terms of the camera performance, the Redmi Note 7 Pro is our choice, and also the Redmi Note 7 Pro has electronic image stabilization and 4K support, which is missing on the Honor 8X. Now finally, the battery life. We have a 4000 mAh capacity battery on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while we have 3750 mAh capacity battery on the Honor 8X. Now Honor 8X is pretty good in terms of battery performance, with the EMUI being really optimized for battery performance. But here we feel with a smaller display and high capacity battery, the Redmi Note 7 Pro has the lead with a better battery life, and also it supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 4.0. So even though the charger is not bundled, you get the charging, and there is USB Type-C port included with the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while it's a micro USB port on the Honor 8X. So that was a detailed comparison of these two devices. So which one you should buy? So right now we definitely feel the Redmi Note 7 Pro is an upgrade, except for the build quality. Almost every aspect the Redmi Note 7 Pro is a worthy upgrade, because it has the latest version of software, the Android 9.0 update, larger capacity battery, faster charging, Corning Gorilla Glass 5 support, then better cameras, overall better software experience. So overall, looking at the aspects, we feel that the 13,999 price to Redmi Note 7 Pro makes it slightly better value for money than the Kirin 710 powered the Honor 8X. So that was a detailed comparison of these two devices. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.